Presently, he is handling marketing of recyclates at Indian Oil. His key responsibilities includes building supply chain for marketing of polymer recyclates and market development. So please welcome him with a round of applause.
Thanks a lot for the introduction. I wanted to thank IIT Roorkee and Professor Mishra for inviting for this talk today on plastic recycling and circularity. So I'll start with a brief about plastics. We all know what plastics are. We've been using them day in, day out, starting from the morning when we wake up and use a toothbrush. So plastics are a very durable and versatile material and they serve so many purposes throughout our day and throughout our life. They have very high innovation potential, and plastics have been instrumental in replacing so many conventional building materials like wood or metal which were used in the cars. But of late, there has been plastics is under severe criticism because of its tendency to cause pollution, specifically marine pollution, and we have been seeing plastic litter all across. So what is the reason for that? And there is a talk about very high greenhouse gases emissions from plastics. But plastics, on the other hand, we understand are instrumental in reducing the greenhouse emissions because of their replacement potential of conventional materials. So plastics are, through this presentation, I'd like to take you through the journey of how plastics are given and what are the ways to mitigate the plastic pollution through recycling. Plastics are used everywhere, and you see their applications are multifold in agriculture in the form of mulch films, in shade nest, in drip lateral. So they help in increasing the yield of the produce. In healthcare, syringes. In COVID, we have seen how much help plastics have been for us in the form of PPE kits or the carry bag that we were using all the time for delivery of food when we were constrained in our houses. In infrastructure, you would see plastics in pipes, in doors, in geotextiles, and in consumables and packaging of various products that we buy day in, day out. So plastics are everywhere. And plastics have been linked to the GDP. Traditionally, we have seen that the growth of plastics is 1.5 to 2 times the growth of GDP. So if you see in 2010, plastic consumption was typically at 6 to 7 kg per capita in India, but now it has risen to 15 kg per capita in India. And from humble start in plastics in production in 2000, I think 50 years back, India is one of the largest producer of nanotubes, largest producer of molded furniture across the world, of toys, of molded products, and of usable films. So we have come a long way from the start, and we have hold a phenomenal position in plastics and products production today. And what are the driving force for increase in plastic usage? It is urbanization. You see, when urbanization happens, there is increase in use of plastics, rising income levels, government policies, and population growth. These are some of the growth drivers for growth of plastics, specifically polyolefins in India. Packaging, we see that our daily usage items, we are shifting towards buying things which are pre-packed. So packaging holds is a major growth driver for polyolefin consumption in India. In medical usage, in agriculture, a lot of plastics are being used nowadays, which helps in really protecting the crop. In infrastructure, in a lot of pipelines, we keep hearing about the Jal Nal Yojana of government, where the government plans to deliver water right to the households across India. So a lot of plastic pipes are being used for that. In white goods application, in appliances, and in automobiles. Now coming to sustainability and circularity. What is sustainability? So sustainability and sustainable development are two terms which we often hear very frequently nowadays. Sustainable development's definition was given by Brundtland Commission in 1987. It says that sustainable development is development that meets the need of present without compromising of future needs of generation to meet their own needs. So it is given that for any exercise or any practice to be sustainable, or the path that we take, if it's sustainable, it can be sustainable only if it meets the three P's: planet, profit, and planet, and forgetting the third P, people. So if any practice ticks all the three P's, only then that development can be sustainable. You see in this Venn diagram, planet is environment, economic is profit, and social is people. So only where the middle part meets, that part is sustainable, truly sustainable. Now coming to the circular economy, there are basically, traditionally our manufacturing economy has been linear economy, where we take resources from the environment, make a product, use, and then dispose of. But now, because of the sustainable development thrust, people are shifting towards the process of circular economy, where we use the resources, make a product out of it, then when we discard it, then again it is repurposed for the same application. So that you are using the resources multiple times and it becomes a circular economy. Circular economy in plastics has various advantages. It helps in reducing pollution, which is a major worry nowadays. It helps in reducing the depletion of resources, because when you are using the plastic again by recycling, you are preventing excessive usage. Then it also, as you know, India is mostly dependent on imports for crude oil, and presently majority of that entire production of plastics in India is from fossil fuels. So if we can recycle more plastic, we can reduce our dependence on imported fossil fuels. These are 17 sustainable development goals which were formulated by United Nations General Assembly in 2015. These are called Agenda 2030, and these are basically 17 interlinked objectives, which is a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and planet. These are largely voluntary in nature. The majority of countries adopt and they try to implement schemes and practices which takes one or more of the 17 goals. Now we were talking about the greenhouse gases emission from plastics. This is a study by Indian Center for Plastics and Environment (ICP), which has done a study on how much material it would take for packaging of 1 lakh liter of milk. If it is glass, it would take 45.4 metric ton to pack and distribute 1 lakh liter of milk. But in plastic packaging, only 0.4 metric ton. So almost 100 times less material is used. Energy requirements more than 13 times less. In glass, with 1300 gigajoules through the entire journey of making glass, packing, and delivering. And water requirement is 26 kiloliters against 1600 kiloliters when it is packed in glass. Similarly, in atta packaging in jute versus plastics, you see there is almost 5 times, 6 times lesser amount of material required if you pack the atta in plastics compared to jute. And water saving is there and energy saving to the tune of 81% was observed. Similarly, a study was done for packaging of 500 gram of coffee powder. In glass packaging, material was 500 gram was used, and for plastic packaging of the same coffee, you would need just 12 grams. So you see what the use of plastics actually helps in reducing the greenhouse emission by using lesser resources, lesser energy, and lesser water. So if there is so many applications, everything is good, what is the problem? This is the problem. You see, we have started using excessive of plastic, excessive of packaging, improper and disposal of plastics. We see plastic littering all around. Then single-use plastic is one of the major cause of plastic pollution, because you buy products, you wrap it up, and you just throw away, and it leads to plastic pollution. And chaos all around. According to a report by Ellen MacArthur, around 8 million tons of plastics are leaking into oceans every year, and they estimate at this rate by 2050 there will be more plastics in the ocean than the fish. So this is a cause of concern. This is what has been diagnosed, and in 2018 World Environment Day was celebrated with the theme of beat plastic pollution, and in 2025 this year the theme of the World Environment Day is ending plastic pollution. So the plastic pollution issue is in top of mind of all the governments, or at UNEP or United Nations, everywhere. In India, to arrest this issue of plastic menace, the government has been proactive and plastic waste management rules have been modified. In 2016, first draft was issued and several amendments have happened throughout the year, and these are progressive in nature. And one of the major amendment has happened recently in the form of banning of certain plastics. In 2021, I think 22, 19 single-use plastic items were banned. These included cutlery or flexible packaging like banners to the extent of certain 100 micron, banner like 100 micron knives, straws, invitation cards used to come in wrapped in plastic, which is now banned. And another major intervention from the government is introduction of extended producer responsibility rules. Because it is understood that plastics, when it is used for structural application like pipes or for any infrastructure use for the seat or the chairs, they have a very long life. But the problem is the plastic packaging. So they have introduced this extended producer responsibility. They are called EPR rules on plastic packaging, where they say whatever a company or a brand commodity they sell in the market, and whatever packaging they sell along with the market or with the product, that has to be collected back by them and recycled. So this has been given a major thrust and a talk of the town in every seminar or conference, EPR rules, where any brand, be it a small brand or big brand, they have to collect back the plastic packaging they have introduced in the market. And also, as a further progress in EPR, now the brands are required to use recycled resin in their packaging. So, first target is that you have to collect back the entire packaging from the market, and secondly, you have to use recycled resin in the plastic. So that use of recycled resin in plastic packaging is giving birth to circularity. This is slowly coming in the economy. So this EPR rules have given a lot of trust and impetus to plastic recycling and opened up a very good market of recycling in plastics. These are some of the growth drivers which we have already mostly discussed: plastic waste rules, extended producer responsibility, Swachh Bharat Mission. A lot of fund allocation has been done by government in Swachh Bharat Mission, and changing consumer preference. Now in affluent economies, in urban areas, people are looking at buying things which are packed sustainably, which are packed in recycled plastics. Yesterday only I was seeing a packaging of Mama, and they have disclosed on the label that we recycle more plastic than we use. So even the brand and the consumer are placing their preferences accordingly. Now the plastic pollution problem is there. How to tackle it? Government has done one bit by banning certain items, and also by introducing the concept of recycling or EPR. Traditionally, recycling in India was mostly downgrading, where downgrading either it was burnt or it was incinerated or it was sent to dumps. But now impetus is on plastic recycling, and majorly there are two kinds of recycling: primary, which is closed loop, and the other is mechanical and chemical recycling. So from the definition of CPCB, there are basically four kinds of recycling. Two major types are mechanical and chemical. And mechanical one is primary recycling, where when you recycle the product, you use it back in the same product. And another is secondary recycling, where you downcycle, or let's say you recycle a poly bag and then further use it for a garbage bag. So So it doesn't go to the same application, but it is going in some application. Then something which cannot be mechanically recycled, it can be recycled chemically. Again, in chemically there are two kind of things. Once you extract the monomer out of it, take it back to the original form and make the polymer again. Or if that's not possible, then you recover energy from it by incineration. Plastics have a very good calorific value, and nowadays a lot of plastics which cannot be recycled are being used in, for the purpose of incineration, majorly by cement kilns. Elaborating on mechanical recycling is nothing but just you collect the plastic waste, you wash it, you segregate it, and then you melt it again in extruders and use the make the pellets out of it and use in applications such as chairs, or in PET, the recycled PET is used for applications such as textiles. So traditionally in India, a lot of recycling is already happening. It is noted that around 5 million tons of recycling capacity is already there in India. But the products that they are making are mostly downcycled. Now companies have come up like Banyan Nation, Nepra, Dalmia, Sri Chakra. They are doing quality recycling and making very good kind of resin which can be used back in application like lubricant bottles. A lot of innovation has also happened in the field of mechanical recycling, because one of the major issue in the recycling is sorting of the waste. So all these post-consumer waste, they are of different types. It can be PP, it can be ABS, PE or PET. Now AI-based machines and machine learning has been employed. There is a company called Ishitwa, which is an offshoot of Nepra, based out of Ahmedabad, which has developed indigenous technology for based on artificial intelligence and machine learning. And in that technology, when the waste plastics is conveyed on a conveyor, the closed loop kind of conveyor, with the use of AI and ML, the machine could identify that this is a Harpic bottle, and only that Harpic bottle could be separated. This kind of separation can be done on polymer basis, LDP or PP, on color basis, and even on brand basis. So that kind of technological development is happening in these fields. Then there are some lab scale experiments to demetalize the films, especially in the laminate structure. This is not very commercial as of now. In tertiary recycling and chemical recycling, the rule is that whatever can be recycled mechanically should be first mechanically recycled, because mechanical recycling is the most carbon efficient process. Chemical recycling is not that carbon efficient, but at least you are trying to prevent the discarding of materials through chemical recycling. Traditionally, in chemical recycling, gasification has been used, where in the absence of oxygen, you generate syngas, and syngas, when it is made, it can be used with syngas is also called producer gas. So you can use that producer gas to make various petrochemicals. Then pyrolysis is happening a lot in India right now, especially in the western part of the country, in Pune, in Nasik, where this plastic waste, mostly post-consumer plastic waste, is heated in the absence of oxygen, and it is a catalytic process, and it breaks down into pyrolysis oil. This pyro oil is used typically in the range of light diesel oil, and can be used for incineration or even for running refineries. BASF is doing work in this, Exxon is also doing work in this, but economically the process is still not viable. So there are only pilot scale experiments happening. Then there are technologies on depolymerization, especially which is used in PET recycling. So there is a company called Polygenta, which is recently been renamed to Revalue. So they are doing this depolymerization of PET by the glycolysis route, where they convert polymer into PP and MEG. Then there is a recent development company called Pure Cycle. they are using dissolution process, which the plastic waste is extracted in a solvent, and the solvent is further filtered, and you can get resin which is having quality as good as virgin polymer. So one of the major problems with mechanical recycling is, despite especially for the polyolefins, that after having used the best of the process and best of the technology, the resin you get in mechanical recycling is not as good as virgin. It has some odor, it may have some color, some kind of contamination. But in such processes, in chemical recycling or in solvent extraction process, the quality of the resin is very good. The quaternary recycling is basically dealing with extraction of energy out of the polymer waste. So whatever cannot be mechanically recycled, or it is not possible to recycle through chemical process, it is being sent to for incineration. In India, almost 70% of the post-consumer waste, which is collected by municipality, it is being sent to incineration in cement plants. And also, as I said, there are plants which are making fuel out of it, which is used for running. In fact, in Goa, a lot of trawlers are used for fishing. In that trawlers, a lot of pyrolysis oil is being used for their empowering the power. There are a lot of challenges in recycling. It is established that it is the need of the hour, but despite that, I think there is some issue with the presentation. The font is not very properly. But the challenges are on account of input. The kind of waste available in India is not of very good quality, because we don't do source segregation. Like in Europe, you would see there would be 3 or 4 kind of bins for different kind of waste. But in India, you dump all the waste, organic or inorganic or plastic or metal or glass, is all dumped in a single bin. So that kind of source segregation is not there. The sorting is not mechanized, mostly informal. Then at the recycling facility, there is challenge of very poor quality, outdated machines. The investment is not happening in recycling. Then end market challenges are there, because everybody wants recycled resin at a cheaper price, but the cost of recycling is very high. So if you want to make very high quality product, you cannot get it at a cheaper price. So that the cost has to be borne by someone. So these are the issues. Then the issues of unskilled labor, technological challenges are there. So these are the reasons because of which the recycling is not taking up in that way, but it presents a very good market potential. And nowadays we are getting a lot of queries, a lot of requirement of recycled resin. Some of the statistics on recycling in India. India recycles more than 60% of the waste. That plastic waste category. So that way we are very well placed compared to the world. There is a slide I'll be coming to show how are we placed. We are ranked 5th in production of plastic waste because of our population. And around in 2023, it was estimated around 9.3 million tons of plastic waste is generated every year. It is expected to go up to 34 million tons in 2031. So that is the problem we are staring at. Presently 9.3 million tons is manageable. But in 10 years from now, when this plastic waste generation will be to the tune of 3 times or 4 times, then how do you handle that? Capacity has to come. 70% of the plastic waste generation in India is because of packaging sector. And you can see that chips confectionery accounts for 20% and straws is 7%, retail bags 8%. Around 95% of the capacity in India for recycling is mechanical, and only less than 1% is chemical, and that too only one plant is there. And another 5% is recycled by energy recovery. You see, look at this statistics. India is at 60% compared to the rest of the economies are at 65%. So we are traditionally, because we are developing economy, we take good care of the resources that we have. We have been cultured to keep all the newspapers that we read and send it to Kawali Wala every month. So because of that, we are still well placed, and we are recycling 60%. But with the growing population and with the growing purchasing power, we see this problem of the plastic waste generation will be multifold, and that is the problem of the day which has to be addressed. Many brand owners in India, Coca-Cola, Samsung, Unilever, they are doing their bit. They have targeted to use 25% recycled content by 2030 and make their packaging 100% recycled. So there is a pact called India Plastic Pact which they have signed. Majority of brands have signed, and they focus towards reaching 25% recycled content in packaging by 2030 and use of 100% recyclable or reusable packaging. So brands are playing their bit. They are the major polluter. As I said, 70% is from plastic packaging. So, and all these companies are in plastic packaging. Their products are heavily packaged. So they use their bit. Other plastic resin manufacturers like Rouge, Exxon, John Ingersoll, Phillips, and Savic, all of these resin manufacturers, they are trying to solve the problem of chemical recycling and make it more viable. At the same time, all of these companies are partnering with mechanical recycling companies for making resin. At Indian, we have also done our bit. We have launched a brand called Cycloplast, in which we are selling recycled polymers. We are buying from established recycler, and after thorough quality assurance, we are marketing this product to our buyers, and we have received brand approvals from Asian Paints, Amchem, LP Lubricants. We have done a very small quantity last year, but we are going to scale it up in coming year, and we will be selling mechanically recycled, mostly only polypropylene and polyethylene. These are some of the products that we have made from our recycled resins, and each batch was tested at 3 stages for quality compliance, and we have done trials at more than 140 customers. This is a slightly old slide since we have mentioned 100 customers. More than 140 customers we have tried the material, and they have all appreciated the quality. So recycling is gaining traction. Another step that we have taken is we have made our own packaging slightly sustainable. We have reduced the ink that we use on the packaging. This reduced ink helps in making the packaging more recyclable. Because when you use more ink, it is heavily printed. The resin that will come out of it after recycling will be towards a darker shade. So when we reduce the kind of, earlier a bag was printed on the both sides. The design was there on the both sides. Now we have reduced the color of the ink, and also made it printing only on one side. So that has reduced cost also, and has made it more recyclable. Our R&D at Faridabad, they are working in the field of chemical recycling, and we have done some trials. We have patented technology called Indico P2F, where we are using the plastic waste in one of our refinery units, and when we are making naphtha and making distillates out of it, 5% coke is generated in the process. Unbottled is one of our key initiatives where we are using the recycled PET to make uniforms for our petrol pump attendants and delivery boys. We had presented one jacket made of recycled PET to Modi ji in 2023 in India Energy Week, and this jacket he wore in Rajya Sabha, and that was talk of the town. And recently, with Bill Gates also, he mentioned the use of recycled polyester for textile purposes. We are also internally, we have made some t-shirts and jackets, and we are selling those t-shirts and jackets internally to all our IOCLs, and they are regularly buying it. Our target is to recycle 100 million bottles through this initiative, and we're already on the verge of reaching 20 million through our uniforms of petrol pump attendants and LPG delivery boys, and we are also doing discussion with some airlines and even Indian Army for adopting this initiative.